Good morning. Good morning. I am not showing my face because I am still in my pajamas and not camera ready. So this was a viewer request. We're going to take a look at Johnny Depp and his love life. So sit right back. I'll be right there. Welcome back to Fortune Cookies. This is Annabelle. I am a tarot practitioner for over 35 years. And in this video, we're going to take a look at Johnny Depp's love life. This was a request that one of my viewers made, Pride-GC. So we're going to take a look at it and see what we come up with. So thanks for the request. And as always, this reading is the product of my own psychic downloads and my own personal opinion. Please use your best judgment and do your own research before making any decisions. So Johnny Depp has had a storied love life. I did love him with Winona Ryder. Super jealous because she is a similar age to me. And so when they were dating, I was very, very jealous of her. But I thought that they were such a great couple. And then he moved on to Kate Moss, a variety of other gorgeous young starlets, and eventually wound up with Vanessa Paradis, French, multi-talented woman, actress, model, singer, kind of everything. And they had 2 kids. Who are a delight. Everyone knows Lily Depp. So then, we kind of rolled into the whole Amber Heard situation. So from my understanding, Johnny Depp was dating an attorney named Joelle Rich in 2022, toward the end of 2022. But it seems that that relationship has not panned out, and that he is allegedly, according to my sources, single. So let's see if he has anything coming up in the future. So I'm a big fan of Johnny Depp. I love him. I think it's so wild that he does not watch his movies after he finishes them. And if you haven't seen Dark Shadows is one of the greatest pieces of work that he's ever done. Plays Barnabas, and he's awesome. So let's just see how he is doing. And I did do a 12-month reading on him as well. I saw that maybe there were some health issues that were coming up at the end of the year, 2024, that is. 3 of Wands, 2 of Cups. He is, if nothing, he's gun shy. He is gun shy, guys. I don't think that we're going to see him really publicly date anybody. And I'm using my mini Llewellyn today. It just felt right today. So over here, the 3 of Wands, he's got options. He's got plenty of young ladies that, and maybe not so young ladies, that would entertain him for sure. But this split with Amber Heard has really rocked his world, not in a good way. It's really turned him upside down. Under the surface, his shadow self, he has turned a corner. I think he is much more comfortable. If he dates at all, I think the dating process is going to be, well, I'll go on a date with you, but I'm really not going to get super, super involved with you. I'm just dating. I don't really want to be, married again. There's something here that tells me he is really dedicating himself to his children. I think there was some, I don't want to say neglect, but priorities had changed. I know there was some business about Lily Rose not going to the wedding, or there was some some brouhaha about the wedding. So, it doesn't surprise me that he's trying to make that up for his kids. Those of you, that don't know, he does have an island. I would jump on that island in a hot minute. I would be a citizen of Deppland, or Deppistan, or whatever we're going to call it. Deppsylvania. I like Deppsylvania. So back here, the Six of Pentacles. The reason why he got himself into trouble here was he overextended himself financially, emotionally, the foundations of his life. He really kind of handed the reins over to Amber. I think the excess of substances was really just to quiet the noise in his head and stop that from happening. It was, I'm just going to go over here and just kind of be quiet and do what I do. He's a super, super sensitive dude, not into the whole Hollywood scene. I think his tenure as the owner of the Viper Room kind of cured him of that. I think that was like the one-way door out of party land. Losing River Phoenix, who was a close friend of his, I think really it became that darkest day. It was, similar to, the Manson murders being kind of the end of the summer of love. So I think that really was kind of the end of those days for him. He didn't want to have that kind of consolidation of energy, party energy in the same room with him anymore. That's not to say like he doesn't want to have parties, but the magic that was happening at the Viper Room, he did not want to see that kind of magic happen again, because it just was a little bit dirty and sticky all at the same time. So the Moon card is in his current headspace. And what the Moon card is, we're asking the universe for answers to questions that we have. We're begging the universe for questions, and we're trying to figure out where the answers are between love and logic, between super reason or super emotions and super reasoning. So he's really in that battle. He wants to feel the way he did in those first blossoming days of love. He wants to feel that again, but logic says, you know what? There's a lot of people out there that are like this. A lot of people will seem very similar, and I don't ever want to be the person that I was in that last relationship again, less significant relationship, the one with Amber Heard. His emotions were completely turned upside down. He did not recognize himself. There were things that he said and did that he was not pleased with. So, he's trying to reconcile those two parts of himself to see if he can exist. This is trauma, 100%. This is, trauma that he is trying to recover from. At the moment, he knows that he is crippled in terms of his capacity to be in a relationship because he questions so much. Every action of every person that he interacts with romantically, he's going to question what their intentions are, what their motives are, if this is legitimate, if it is a truthful person, because he was with a really good actor and she really showed him a lot of fake stuff. So, very, very, very damaged from that. So let's take a look and see what he could do to fix that. What can he do to fix that? Ten of Cups in reverse, Chariot. He's got to leave it behind. He's got to leave that sadness behind and bring the walls down. Get back to work. Get back to work, Johnny. So The unhappiness is in the past. The sad relationship, the dismantled life is really what comes through very strongly here, this dismantled life. That is well behind him. Moving forward, he must put the walls down. He cannot be resistant to human company because that is not going to be good for him. And he will figure that out. The justice has been served, the karmic justice has been served. He has risen from this and he's moving forward. Now, the Hollywood thing is really something that he's not comfortable with now. He really does not like Hollywood at all. He thinks Hollywood is a terrible place. And I think he is trying to protect his children from the side effects of Hollywood and fame. I think he's really trying to protect them. And for that reason, he has to stay boots on the ground there. But that's not a fertile ground for finding relationships. And I think he's going to continually find troubling, problematic relationships that just don't suit him. There's, if Winona was the love of his life, the bride that did not pan out, the bride that wasn't, he sees what has happened to her, and to be sure, she's doing great right now. She's riding high on Stranger Things, but she did go through a period where things were not so good, and I think he really sees that as the damage that the Hollywood machine can do to you. Even the most delightful of persons, it really will chew you up and spit you out. So he does not want to put himself back in that line of fire, back in that dating system. He just doesn't want to see it. A brief pause. I had to take a phone call. So he just is not going to find what he's looking for in Hollywood. He does have to get back to work with that Eight of Pentacles. Let's take a look at that. That's his money's on his work. His mind is on his work. His mind and his money. His money's on his mind. So he's really thinking about work. Now, I have said that I think he's going to go more into his artwork. One of my viewers corrected me and said, I think he has a film coming out or he's in negotiation or something. So let's see how this is going to serve him best. Getting back to work. So getting back to work for him, what it's going to do is blow away all the cobwebs, all the nonsense. He is going to regain his seat. Now, everyone contacts Johnny Depp and they're like, Johnny, now that everything's over, everyone contacts him and they're very excited to talk to him. They're very excited to get him on board and do things with him, and everybody's blowing smoke up his butt. He's able to disperse and understand which people are legitimate and which people are just using him for the moment. So if nothing else about the whole Amber Heard situation, it did vastly affect the way that he looks at Hollywood. He had a different view of Hollywood than most people. Was not super invested in the celebrity and royalty of it all. He just kind of stumbled into that. God bless Nicolas Cage for telling him to go into acting. But he's better able to discern the people that are not, don't have his best interest at hand. And here, we see a lot of shady folk. He sees them. The scales have fallen from his eyes and he can see them a mile away. So, the truth is that he is a seer now, and he knows what is good and what is bad. And he's not willing to tolerate any nonsense in his life. If this disrupts his legacy, he does not care. His legacy is already cast. while some people may have a different view of him because of the Amber Heard situation, his reputation really is still pretty solid. It's still pretty solid. Will he leave Hollywood to find love? Well, let's clean these up. Let's clean these up. Clean up the real estate. Will he leave Hollywood to find love? You know, where's he from? Is he from Georgia or something like that? I'm going to look it up, guys. Where is that? Kentucky. I knew it was something like that. So he was born in Kentucky. I think he is going back down south. I don't know if it's back to Kentucky, but I think that is where he can find the truest people. I don't know if that's where he feels home. I think the island really is his home, but that, you're really separated from people there. But I think Kentucky is a good place to start to actually meet genuine people. It's really hard for him. He can't walk in the room and not draw attention. So, he is highly recognizable in any form. So, cleaned up, dressed down, looking like a hippie, rolling in after quadding, like he still is highly recognizable. So, this lack of home for him. The island is a hideaway. It's an island hideaway, but there really is no home for him. Even the penthouse that he had, the series of penthouses, the collection of penthouses he had, while it was a showroom and it was almost like a working space, that's where his work was. That was where he would take meetings. That was where he would have a waiting room between films. It really is not what he wanted to be. Closest thing I think he ever had to a home was the property that he had in France. It was actually like a little town that he had bought. I shouldn't say it was a little town. I'm not sure if it was actually a little town, but it was like a little hamlet that was his own. It had like a pub and it was very cool. I think he sold it. I believe he sold it. But he is going to be looking for that place to land. And I think we will see him moving a great deal. Now, if there are movies, I think he's going to kind of manipulate it so that he can do that down south. Weather's good, people are good. I think that's really where he's going to head. So I think there's going to be a fusion between moving and finding the truest people that he can. He's really trying to find a tribe, not his tribe, but a tribe. In that tribe, will he find a lady love? Immediately, I am getting the impression of not a love relationship, but a companionship relationship. So it's not going to be, the bride kisses the groom and cans behind the car and all that. But it's going to be a very, very meaningful kinship relationship. That's really what it's going to be. And this will probably be someone that he moves onto the property. So if it's a personal assistant, legal counsel, someone who's producer, someone who's working writer, someone who is working in his industry with him will become a very close confidant, and they will likely reside on the same property. He'll bring them in he's such a generous guy. He's going to bring them in out of generosity and try and just take care of this person. Is this person going to be a decent person? Because we have that 7 of Swords there. it'll be a collaborative relationship that, due to his caution, he will have a lot of questions. He will have a lot of resistance, a lot of walls put up. But I think all in all, it is a good relationship. I think the Seven of Swords that we're getting there is really his reluctance to have anyone involved in his life. So to wrap this up, I don't see that there's a lot of love on the cards, but I think it's because he really is just so banged up from the last relationship. I just don't think that he can jump into something like that. And the level of intimacy, I think it's the sex part of it all. It just, he's one of those guys that, the sex, it goes right to his heart. And he's not gonna do that unless he really, really, really wants to be with someone and wants to keep them in his world. He may have sowed some wild oats years ago, but this is definitely a changed perspective for him. So and I think that's good. I did see, again, if you look at the 12-month reading I did for him, I saw some potential health issues for him. So, we do want to make sure that he addresses those before he gets in too deep with anyone else. So I do hope you enjoyed this. So please like, share, and subscribe. And again, Pride GC, thanks so much for the request. Keep the requests coming, and like, share, and comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you want to throw your hat in the ring for Johnny Depp's open casting call for potential one-day dates. All right, everybody, have a fantastic